No need for vaccines. COVID pandemic is over, says former vice president of Pfizer. The pandemic, thank you, Tracy Rockamore, for sharing this with me this night. The pandemic is effectively over and can easily be handled by a properly functioning NHS, National Health System. Accordingly, the country should immediately be permitted to get back to normal life, says former VP Pfizer of Pfizer. While Pfizer Pharmaceutical had made headlines on the release of their corona crap, um, a former vice president and chief scientist of the company, Dr. Michael Yeadon, has said that there is no need for any vaccines to bring this crap scamdemic to an end. According to an article published in Lockdown Skeptics, Dr. Michael Yeadon wrote, "There is absolutely no need for vaccines to extinguish the pandemic. I've never heard of such nonsense talked about vaccines. You do not vaccinate people who aren't at risk for a disease. You also don't set about planning to vaccinate millions to fit and healthy people with a vaccine that hasn't been extensively tested on human subjects." Ding, 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 ding. All right, so here's the chart. You got the evidence-based reality, the SAGE suppositions. So you got all these charts. Chart 1, no prior immunity. Chart 2, 30% prior immunity, just 7% affected in chart 1. And then chart 2 has a different scenario. So I guess these are speculations, right? His comments come at an end of a comprehensive criticism of the Scientific Advisor for Emergencies, SAGE, a government agency of the United Kingdom tasked with advising the central government in emergencies. SAGE has played an important role in determining public lockdown policies in the United Kingdom as a response to this crap. Yeadon also highlights fundamental errors by SAGE in their presuppositions, which cause their overall conclusions to go radically awry, leading to torturing of the population for at least 7 months. Okay, let's read on. Um, or so. Sage says everyone was susceptible. I think this is literally unbelievable. They have ignored all precedent in the field of immunological memory against respiratory viruses. They have either not seen or disregarded excellent quality work from numerous world-leading clinical immunologists, which show that around 30% of the population, everybody has prior immunity. Shit, man, even reading that's wrong. They should also have excluded from susceptible a large subset of the youngest children who appear not to become infected, probably because their biological systems. You know, it's difficult to read some lies here, Tracy Rockamore. I got to skip this, right? Because it's hard to read even that part. Um, you guys can read the rest of that. So, attention, Office of Interpol. I like to pray. Heavenly Father God, we pray. Thank you for sharing all this amazing research with us here today. We want to put a hedge of protection around all that is good globally, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, and all the good people that are helping us to get free globally. All right, to support us here, you guys go to PayPal at themullings@gmail.com. Thank you to each and every one of you, Jackie Kofti, for your support, and all of you supporting us here for the GSA bonds and 1099 OID, and the child support cases, mortgages. Those of you in need of the GSA bonds to set off matters such as child support cases, mortgages, foreclosures, tickets, citations, utilities, auto loans, student loans, and those of you having warrants, and for those of you having to see an agent doing business as a parole officer, as well as those of you in the churches doing business as jails for nonviolent offenses. You can email us at themullings@gmail.com. Also, for the 1099 OID to get back the finances they claimed you owed, you can email us for that. We do ask for donations for our time and research. All right. Attention, Office of International Criminal World Court, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, the Federal Bureau of Investigations heads that are good, Interpol, Jay Clayton doing business as Securities and Exchange Commissioner, Joseph Otting doing business as the head for the Office of Comptroller of Currency, and Louis DeJoy doing business as the head for the as the head as Postmaster General. Also, the Federal Trade Commission Clearinghouse Department heads and the Antitrust Department heads and the Universal Postal Union heads. I come to you in good faith in one's proper person as a living flesh and blood sentient being, sui juris, sui eris. I stand my ground here and for the record as Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, Alori Talamorsh, American National, holding the highest diplomatic office, AA 222-141, 449-59344 to set off matters. Go now quickly and investigate the comment that was made recently regarding our judges. Did they put her in this so-called church doing business jail with not a trial for 15 months? If that's true, go and set her and her consort free. Her consort, yeah, free this night, and all the other judges, right? Go and set them free this night in Pennsylvania and Florida. Do that for us. Now, also go and round up all so-called vaccines and all the heads involved in the warp speed corruption, fraud, and genocide on the planet, and then go and take over all the airports. I require and command you go and do that now globally. All the airports, all the staff, the pilots, and all the agents operating just like you took over the Federal Reserve and Donald Trump, now the exchequer for the globe. Go and take over all the airports, do the same for all the other industries, all the other corrupt corporations that are in operation currently, forcing the mask on the disabled children who have Down syndrome and autism. You guys know that people with Down syndrome and autism cannot wear masks. All right, so go and round up all those corporations and those heads for those corrupt states now, right? Those state heads, governors, fire them this night. Let them step down immediately, right? So the people can be free. Um, and yeah, can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and their property, which is their physical bodies. All right, now what you're going to do is when you round up all those agents, you're going to collect all the profits they've generated from this fraud hoax, and you're going to send it back to the people immediately. Put it in their accounts, do what you need to do, go door to door so the people have access to food and everything they require immediately. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to that matter. Thank you for taking up the garbage. Was it this morning? Thank you for that. And send us the stuff that we require here immediately. So we can do what we need to do for our people here and ourselves. Thank you for that. All right. So thank you for your speedy response to this matter. By Noble Honorable Eng El Inadi Alfred El Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, Allodial Title Moorish American National, UCC 1-308 without recourse, all rights preserved. I stand by the Book of Ruth, by my deceased organ harvested husband, and myself, Jackson.
My vote is only as good as the integrity of Dominion and all the hackers that exist that can get into the Dominion machine.
Your vote is not as secure as your Venmo account.
Pardon me? Say that one more time.
Your vote is not as secure as your Venmo account.
Can you think of any reason why anyone would hire them to count votes in the United States?
I could postulate a lot of...
Or any of them good reasons?
They have a strong lobby. They work with the government. They work with state government agencies, and they've got the infrastructure to sell their services.
get into the Dominion machine.
Your vote is not as secure as your Venmo account.
Pardon me? Say that one more time.
Your vote is not as secure as your Venmo account.
Can you think of any reason why anyone would hire them to count votes?
Up today, one for the congressional 5th District race and the other for the State Senate 39 Special Democrat primary and the Western District DA's race. So we look forward to a smooth election day today. On the recount, we are approaching 50 counties being completed so far. The largest still out is Fulton, and again, we're seeing issues there. I read their statement of the issue of why they are rescanning 300,000 plus ballots that they have already scanned for the recount, and they could not recover the data for that. They put out a statement that only told part of the story. It's somewhat typical for what we're seeing from Fulton County, both recently.
The Trump campaign filed a lawsuit to the Wisconsin Supreme Court today alleging abuse around the process of absentee voting in the state, which they say affected approximately 220,000 ballots. The lawsuit was filed today and comes after Wisconsin completed its partial recount, which maintained that Joe Biden won the presidential race in the state, and after Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers formally certified Biden's victory, which they say affected approximately 220,000 ballots. The lawsuit was filed today and comes after Wisconsin completed its partial recount.
Because if I were a CEO, I would never think about putting a new business in a state that didn't have liability protection for COVID. Some states already have. My state of Utah has.
Deed lawsuit. So what you have to do after you do the adverse claim or prior to doing the adverse claim, you do your estate trust. Ours is an express, allodial title express trust. I'll do that in another video. Anyways, I'm just going to read briefly the beginning of this quitclaim deed. Ours is quite extensive because there were a lot of parties that we later discovered were involved in the entire fraud. Truth A1 reversion of estate quitclaim deed AA 222141 allodial aboriginal paramount clear perfect title of conveyance international document affidavit of acknowledgement of reversion of estate fiduciary request subject warranty quitclaim deed transfer of inheritance from trustee to heiress. Know all men by these presents that as natural heirs to the land, Northwest Mexico, Northwest Africa, North America, North Gate, the trustee United States of America Corporation, doing business as the state of Ontario, Canada, and place all in express trust as per below. This is the Noble Jurali Express Trust that people are not quite clear about. Here it is now. Express Trust, let's see if I can read it properly, 1010595, United States Department of Defense Classification, File 1-17, National Archives Record 147, Book 5-21, 5-39, Department of Justice, B as in Bob, M as in Mary, $HR, H as in Horse, R as in Robert, 14435-0, Federal Code 463, Asiatic Federal Code 677 Moors, Hierarchical Code R1010520004, Unique Identifier Number 1237-7. Now, international authorities, what you're going to do is all stands unrebutted. All stands as law, truth, fact, unrebutted. Those that we've served as a public affidavit and also our judges that served Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey and all the judges over at the Moorish American Consulate. All stands as law, truth, fact, unrebutted. So our stuff presented here doesn't in any way go against the grain of what's already in place by the Moorish American consulate judges, as we heirs, Moors, American Indians are under, have utilized that new trust that they've set up for us, as well as the old one that we've also created. So use the UNIDRIP, United Nations Declarations for the Rights for Indigenous People, with the help of the duty to accommodate for those of us made disabled by the same deep state corrupted agents and stuff, and go now to BitChute. Find the agent that's using the name that our elders gave us. As you know, the name that we use here, several other tribal members use the exact same name. So go now and see to it the agent on BitChute, go and round up that CIA agent just like you did the other CIA agents for defamation of character on those of us heirs. Okay, charge them, use our 9 billion international copyright fee, trespass fee for what? Third party interlopers trespassing on our name and appellation, right? Go and round his ass up this night and then set the judges free, right? This night, use the United Nations declarations for the rights for Indigenous people and all that we've served here publicly and privately, along with the GSA bonds that her assistant contacted us and we gave to them freely. And they have put forth that Pennsylvania is blocking. Go and round up all those agents doing business as Tom Wolf and all the heads over in Pennsylvania, Chittlewood, and all the judges involved in those cases of fraud for fraud, treason, war crimes against humanity, peonage, estate theft, identity theft, land theft on us heirs, and racketeering, copyright infringement, intellectual property theft, and set the judges free this night with full compensation as set forth on this channel, right? Do that now on our behalf. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to that matter. By Noble Honorable Ange El Inadi Alfred El Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, allodial title Moorish American National, UCC 1-308 without recourse, all rights reserved. So our elders can now travel to their place of birth because they need to get home. It is time. All right, so you're going to go now, see to it the airports are secured, all masks are burned, all PCR test kits are burned, all the agents that are implementing them are also rounded up and arrested and burned. Do what you need to do there, deal with them. Yeah, go and speak to them immediately now. Give them a chance first before you arrest them for treason and genocide. And then remove all the thermometers and all that crap so that people can travel in peace, right? Do that now as your senior citizens and made disabled by the very same deep state corrupt Nazis. Go and do that now on our behalf because people are trying to get home to their lands, their place of birth, their place where they were reared by their elders and their great grandparents and what have you. They need to speak to the earth and all the trees and everything that's in it. And then go and find the agents driving those chemtrails this morning. Let us know who's involved in that so we can shut that ship down. Do it now, do it now, do it. Find the heads involved in that chemtrails here and globally. Arrest them, charge them, speak to them first about the genocide. Use the Insurrection Act for giving aid and comfort to the enemy, right? Under the 14th Amendment, and then round their asses up. All right, do it now, do it now, do it now. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to that matter. By Noble Honorable Ange Elena D. Alfred L. Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, allodial title Moorish American National, UCC 1-308 without recourse, all rights reserved. And thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you've done so far for rounding up those heads at the Council of Foreign Affairs, for rounding up Kissinger and all the ones that we have stated to you in the affidavits prior to round their behinds up. Send us the information on the planes that crashed in Holland so we know who was involved, what's going on, and so we can decipher it and figure out what to put out on this channel. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to that matter. By Noble Honorable Ange El Ina D. Alfred El Reubenite Tribe Chief, American Indian, allodial title Moorish American National, UCC 1-308. I stand by the Book of Ruth. by my deceased organ harvested husband and myself, Jackson. Tokolot kananay takanay taka. Ni kakaino kakai tokoi kakaino roko taka. Ni kakaino rotokoro takarai takai tokoro kohoi naha takana. Ni kakaino rotokoro takarai taki. Okay, you guys, go and subscribe to Noble L, the original channel, and this one, Noble L, the second. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. Have yourself a great day. Remember to support us here. We're still using FRNs, or I guess it's USNs now. To support us, donate to us, go to PayPal at themullings@gmail.com. And thank you to all of you who support us here. Thank you.